Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-November 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for Scorpio gang in Scorpio season, might I add. Shuffle it up one time here, my guides. Talk to me. What do you got for Scorpio? Please, in mid-November, what energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. So let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang, please. And while we do, I just want to once again wish you all a very happy birthday from me to you. Scorpio season, it's getting towards the back end of Scorpio season, so I'm sure most of you have already celebrated. But yeah, again, happy birthday, my friends. Let's get it going here. Let's get this first oracle out. What's the vibe? Thank you. Okay, dreamy. I mean, I'm not surprised to see this in a water sign reading because I see it for Pisces and Cancer all the time. Usually I lead off with a more intense energy for Scorpio. So I will say for a lot of us in this time, the mind might be going a little extra, and that's okay. That could be channeled into good places. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card a little bit. So we see this lovely lady. It's like she's sitting under an umbrella. The background of this card is like super dreamy and etheric. There's bubbles, and notice she's writing in a journal or a diary. Now, for some Scorpios, if you are going through a bit of a process or a bit of a time, Spirit might be urging you to journal or to get your emotions out through the written word. That's only for some of you, though, not all of you. If you're having a lot of intense, vivid dreams, you might want to journal those down. But even if it's just like getting some deep things out, like there is something here about writing for one reason or another. But again, to me, it's very imaginative, daydreamy, very Four of Cups like. So when I do see this, just know the imagination could be flowing. Now, you can channel that into creative projects. It doesn't just have to be writing. But I mean, this card to me is all about the daydreaming. It's a little fantasizing, stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if over the next week you're in La La Land a little more than normal. So we're just going to leave it at that. I already told you how you could channel. You already know that. But let's see what tarot has for us. Shuffle it up one time. What do we got for Scorpio gang here? And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright, and we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one more time here. What do we got for Scorpio? And yeah, while we get this ready to rock, let's talk about last week's reading. Now, it was titled A Massive Win, so I hope you all had one. I always say that wins and victories come in all different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it could be monetary, sometimes it could be interpersonal relationships. I just saw a really good energy coming in. So hopefully, if it hasn't yet, maybe that'll happen in the coming days and weeks. But let's see what energy shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's. Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Scorpio gang, please. What do you got for us in mid-November? Thank you. Huh. Okay. So we have the Page of Swords in position number 1, keeping an eye on something. Are you keeping an eye on something? Is someone keeping an eye on you? I mean, I guess that depends. That is the watcher of the tarot deck, right? Let's get a couple more. Good. Okay, so we have the 3 of Wands, watching. There's a lot of like wait and see or watching going on here. All right. Let's get one more. What do we got here for Scorpio, please? Thank you. All right, yeah, a little bit of a stress-induced type of energy right here on the back end with the 9 of Swords. Okay, so I feel like we do have a bit of a mixed bag this week, Scorpio, and it's all good. Let's go through and I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. But at first look, first glance, I'm looking over here. You know, I always like to analyze the elements first. And this week, I mean, similar to a couple weeks ago, we have a lot of fire and air energy. So with the Page of Swords, the 9 of Swords, that does represent the realm of the mind and thoughts. So even here in the very beginning, very active daydreaming in mind. So we're still seeing that active mind energy show up in a big way. We got fire in the middle with that 3 of Wands, even though that card is waiting and not moving. When you mix these elements together, there's a certain air of unpredictability. Okay, so whether it is explosive energy and moving forward in a positive way, or whether, like I said, there's something that could just be a little up in the air. So we're going to have to see how it plays. I'm not a huge fan of the Nine of Swords initially, but let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out. So position number one, we are starting with the Page of Swords. Now, I always say pages are students, pages are communicators, they're messengers. So for a lot of Scorpios, when I see this card, the thing with this Page of Swords that's different from the other pages is that this one is very defensive, very skeptical. So for Scorpios in this time, maybe we have our guards up a little extra for whatever reason, or maybe we're being a little extra guarded. But this is the Watcher. So aside from talks and communication, which could still be a message here, either that or new tasks, I feel like there could be something you're either keeping tabs on or keeping a very close eye on. Either that or someone could be doing that towards you, right? Like you might be under the microscope. That could be very possible. That's what I always think with this Page of Swords. Now, does that have to be a bad thing? No, but there's like a lot of wait and see for whatever reason. Like wait and see, wait and see. Especially moving over to this next card, we have the Three of Wands. Now, the thing I like about the Three of Wands is that it is a card of manifesting. It's a card of creating. And to me, it's like, all right, something's almost here. It's almost within reach. We see this individual, they're looking out at the horizon. Their manifestation, their ship is about to come in. So for a lot of Scorpios, business might start picking up in the very near future, especially if it's something that you've been wanting to happen or wanting to acquire. This could be a very good card. In its challenge, because you know I'm always going to tell you the challenges and trials of every card, this could represent delays. This could represent situations that are a little bit frustrating. Sometimes it could even be problems, because this energy is just waiting, 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 waiting. And same thing with this page. So it's like we got this page waiting and watching. We have this card, it's waiting and watching. So it's like we have two ends of the energy where it's like, all right, well, if everyone's just sitting and waiting and watching, what's going on? Like I'm not seeing a lot of action yet. Right, we still do have to clarify it. Now, as we get to the back end, aside from this fire-air mixture that we have going on, we have the Nine of Swords. Okay? And you don't have to be an expert in tarot to understand what this means. You see this individual, they're sitting up in their bed, they got the face in the hands, the whole nine. And I always say this could represent anxiety, it could represent stress, nervousness, all that stuff. This person is losing sleep. For some of you, it could be a very simple message. Like if you haven't been having a good sleep schedule lately, if you've been having insomnia, and I did say this very early in the beginning, there is something here about dreams. Okay, so you could be having some really interesting, vivid dreams when this card shows up. The Nine of Swords, aside from those things, it could also tie into the paranormal. Now, I always mention that Scorpio is highly sensitive to the energies of those around them, those that they're connected to, and I still believe that is absolutely the case. But when I see the Nine of Swords, you could be hyper sensitive to the energy of those you're connected to when this card shows up. But it just feels really wound tight. Okay, and then especially with the elements and the stuff happening, it's like waiting, waiting, waiting. I want to see what the clarifiers are for all this, because again, I have this energy that's starting to build. Now, the good thing about the Nine of Swords, because every card has positives and a challenge. The Nine of Swords is not an end result. Okay, it's just a time period. It's part of a process. And as with all sword cards, it's an energy that moves quickly. It's not jammed up like the front. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Scorpio. So let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here. What's going on? Scorpio, please. What is happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Page of Swords. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Page of Swords time. Page of Swords time. Thank you. Okay, I mean, we have the World in reverse. Now, for some of you, this can be some sort of change or cycle that's about to turn over. This is really, really strong karmic energy. And I also have somebody being very on guard about something swinging back around or returning. And I saw this for you a couple of weeks ago. The energy is still here. Again, this could be situations, it could be people that something could possibly swing back around or re-emerge. Okay, now that could go for good things, that could go for rough things. And with the energy I'm picking up here, it is an energy that is very much on guard. The Page of Swords, World in Reverse, I mean, yes, it could indicate endings. I don't want to quite say that's fully in the cards just yet. But for some Scorpios, there could be some sort of karmic change or karmic cycle that's either about to kick in or complete. Okay, so like the World, even in reverse, it does represent the change or a cycle that's either just closing, about to open. So I feel like for a lot of Scorpios, you're on the precipice of that. You just need to be open to it. That's the vibe. You need to be open to this change, fully open to this change for whatever reason. So it's like I'm getting a lot of energies just shooting through as I'm trying to like verbalize them for you. So just to give you the cliff notes again, Page of Swords, World in Reverse, this could absolutely represent something returning or someone very skeptical and on the lookout about it. Like, are you here yet? Did it come back? Is it coming back? Do I know? It's like on edge about that. But another vibe, I do feel like a massive change or a cycle that's about to kick in. Okay, so whether one is ending or one is opening, I guess that depends on your situation. But there is some sort of metamorphosis going on. Let's keep moving because again, I feel like it's really going to intensify as we move along. But let's see what's happening with the Three of Wands. Let's see what's going on there. Because, again, both are just waiting around, kind of. Why is this Three of Wands here? Please. Thank you. Six of Swords. So notice the elements here. We have, like, a lot of fire and air. Someone might get tired of waiting around. I don't know why that's coming through intuitively, where it's like, no, I'm tired of just sitting around. I'm tired of waiting around. So I do feel like somebody making moves or taking an action of some sort. That could be you. That could be another person. It could just be in a situation as well where your patience might be reaching its limit. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, where it's like, oh, I've kind of dealt with this long enough, or I've been waiting long enough. I'm not waiting anymore. Or you could be getting to that point. Okay, like if there is something or someone that's been testing your patience, and if you're a cross watcher, I feel like your Scorpio's patience might be on thin ice, or maybe your patience with them. Who knows how it goes? But yeah, when I see the Three of Wands with the Six of Swords, it's like, no, I'm almost ready to go. Or like it's almost time to take an action, right? Like with the fire air, it's explosive action. So the Six of Swords is usually good. This could represent distance. It could represent travel. It's usually coming out of choppy waters into calm, but this is a huge action card. Whereas this one is a little stuck, a little on guard, a little on edge. This one in the center is like, okay, well, nothing's really going on. Nothing's really happening. And my patience is kind of wearing thin. Okay, so just know in this time, there could be certain situations or certain things that really weigh on your patience, and might be ready for some explosive action, my good friends. Let's keep moving. Again, we're not going to get stuck there. We're going to see what's up with that Nine of Swords. Someone's patience is thin. That's the best way I could put it. So why is that Nine of Swords here? Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow card. Talk to me about that Nine of Swords. What's this stress about? What is this stress? Okay. Internalizing something. Somebody's internalizing something. And listen, you know, I say it every reading. I have to brag about it at least once that I'm part of Scorpio gang, right? I know how we roll. I know how we are. A lot of the personal readings I do are for beautiful Scorpio friends that we have. And when I see the Nine of Swords with the Page of Cups in reverse, this is somebody possibly internalizing things, whether it is stresses, anxieties, pains. Now, that is something as Scorpios that we are prone to do sometimes. Okay, so if you're a cross watcher and you're wondering like, oh, well, why are they so quiet? Why aren't they saying anything? Or why are they so withdrawn? Sometimes it's hard for us to be vulnerable, right? Not for nefarious reasons, it's just how we're built. And when I see the Nine of Swords, like the stresses, the anxieties with the Page of Cups in reverse, it's like, I'm not going to talk about it, I'll handle it myself. Now, for any of you that are going through a stressful situation or a big change in your life at this time, it's very important that you have somebody to talk to, or you have some sort of release valve for all this energy. That like, yeah, I mean, it's not like you're out there with a bullhorn screaming your business to the world, but you do need some sort of release or relief from this. Like, that's a vibe I'm picking up. Page of Cups, that's one of our cards, Scorpio gang, and with it showing up in reverse, it's not saying a thing. So to me, I get somebody going through a process, or I don't want to say suffering in silence, I don't want to be dramatic, but the Nine of Swords with the Page of Cups in reverse, it's like, I'm going through a very tough time. I'm stressed, anxious, nervous, but I'm not going to let anyone know. I'm not going to speak about it. I'm going to keep it to myself. So, I mean, the same can go, like, if you're more of an evolved Scorpio and you've moved past these behaviors, this could be someone you're connected to. They might be going through a more difficult time than you'd expect. So I get somebody like trying to go through something on their own. So that's a bit of a challenge there on the back end. But I mean, the energy is peculiar. I don't feel, and this is one thing I'll say, Scorpio, I don't feel like any of this is make or break. Okay. I don't feel like any of the stuff in this week's reading is going to make you. I don't feel like any of it's going to break you. It just feels like the energy is a little funky, like the energy is like in flux. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Very peculiar this week. Then we'll do the shadow cards super quick. But position number one, we're starting here with the Page of Swords, the Watcher of the Tarot deck, with the World in reverse. So whether it is something returning, a cycle that's about to end or close, there is some sort of change. But this energy here is like waiting and watching. Like, is it here yet? Did it happen yet? Are they here yet? What's going on? It's like checking in, checking in, checking in, checking in, but it's not doing anything about it. Moving to the center, we have the Three of Wands with the Six of Swords in the upright. Someone that gets tired of something, patience gets thin, where it's like, okay, you know, I was as patient as I could be. Explosive action where someone's just going to like make a move of some sort. That's just how this feels to me. So I would say watch out, in this time your patience might be extra thin. Moving to the back end, I have the Nine of Swords with the Page of Cups in reverse. There could be someone going through a very difficult time, but they're keeping it to themselves, and they could probably really use some sort of release valve for this type of energy. Scorpio is good at integrating and transmuting this type of energy, but this feels very heavy, anxious, nervous on the back, and I feel like this is energy that there needs to be some sort of release, whether it's through creativity, physical activity, just something to release this energy. So yeah, Scorpio, please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Let's see what's in the shadows this week, please. God, Spirit Team, what do we got for my good friends? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get your one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got for Scorpio? Thank you. All right, the Two of Pentacles, which is good. And I did say within the reading itself, like none of these energies, even though some of them do feel a little bit difficult, none of them are make or break, which is a good thing. But the Two of Pentacles is a card of equilibrium, balance. It's a very graceful type of card. Now, this could present itself in a couple different ways when we're looking at the shadow aspect. Either one, something is improving better than you give it credit for. Like something could be starting to stabilize and get better, even if you don't quite see the results just yet. So this could be something starting to stabilize, which is really nice. Either that or you're just juggling a lot of things, whether you're juggling a lot of things in your head or you have a lot of responsibilities or you're working with a lot of intense energies. It makes sense because this Two of Pentacles could sometimes be juggling so much stuff that it gets knocked off its equilibrium. Okay, so I feel like this is presenting itself one way or another. Either something's improving or getting better, either that or you got just a little too much on your plate. And it could just simply be it. Okay. I'm leaning more positive, though, towards it. So, Scorpio, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the November subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my all-time favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards, which one do you feel is the most misunderstood? And if you're new to tarot completely, which one do you have a little trouble with understanding its meaning? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.